Virus community, what's going on? We're back here, Jason Lyden with Emma, and we're here for our tips and tricks for 21.2. Now, in this beginning phase, I'm gonna treat this video very much like I did on the last one, where I'm not gonna give you a definitive answer on what I think you should be doing, because everybody's different. And what one person needs can be completely different than the next person. What I'm gonna do is give you a bunch of things you can think about, where hopefully you can apply this for yourself based off who you are, your size, your fatigue factors, and what's gonna allow you to move through this workout the best that you possibly can. And I'm gonna first start with the warm-ups. And our warm-ups are very similar from last week, whereas we had the sections of getting the body moving and warm, getting into movement prep, activation work, priming your central nervous system, and then from there cycling through what we're going to be doing. So I'm gonna give you some options for that. Now the first thing I'm gonna talk about is as you're thinking about warming up, so after you do like a bike or a walk for 3 to 5 minutes to kind of get your blood flowing, because this is two movements that are really using your entire body, I want you to think about a joint by joint approach, starting from the ground up. And what I mean by that is think of your ankles, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, and your upper back. And you want to be doing exercises to loosen those joints up, because they're all going to be working with inside this workout. So you don't want to kind of section off just the lower body, but think joint by joint, because you're gonna need each one of those loosened up and primed for the workout that you're about to do. Now after that, we're gonna get into some activation work, right? And here's where I'll get a little bit more specific with activation work. So Emma's gonna throw the band around her knees, and what I'm thinking about from an activation standpoint is I'm thinking right now, honestly, the hinge pattern, a squat pattern, and a shoulder pattern, okay? Now, what we're gonna start off with are lateral banded steps. So generally speaking, we're gonna go 2 to 3 sets of 10 steps to the left and then 10 steps to the right. Now after that, I'm gonna stay with the glutes, and I'm gonna have Emma lay on her back, and we're gonna go a single leg hip thrust while we're driving the knee back. And we're gonna do about 10 of those. And then from there, we're gonna stand up, back up, and we're gonna go into banded squats. And I'm gonna have her take her time in this squat pattern. And we'll do about 10 of those. And then from there, we're gonna segue into a banded good morning, where the band's gonna stay on her knees. And on all things, I'm having her think about driving her big toe into the ground, applying pressure out on the band to get some accentuated glute work, glute activation work going, okay? And we'll take this sequence of the lateral steps, the single leg hip thrust with driving the knee back, the squats and the good mornings, and we're gonna do this about 2 to 3 times. And then from there, I'm gonna have her take the band off, and we're gonna get a light kettlebell. So for a light kettlebell, I'm gonna use just an 18-pounder for M. I'm gonna have her hold that kettlebell upside down, holding the shoulder down and back, and then pressing up. As she presses up, she's gonna hold that position, pulling the shoulder down, engaging through the lat, keeping the stomach tight, and then lowering it back down. And for Emma, I'll have her do that about 10 per side twice. And her body now should be feeling really good and ready to go. So now we're gonna move on to the workout itself of the movements of the dumbbell power snatch and the Burpee Box Serve movements. And what I'm gonna talk to you guys about with this are different approaches that you can do for each one, okay? Now, with the dumbbell power snatch, there's 2 approaches, well 3 approaches. There's the predominant hinge method, where we're really just kind of hinging over for this action. Good. There's more of a squat approach to it, where Emma's gonna be more squatty. And then there's sort of like that hybrid, which her second one kind of look like, where it's gonna be like that hinge into a squat. Right? Now, last night when CrossFit Games did this, it was great to watch because Medeiros and Quant had 2 different styles. And that's pivotal, because the style that you choose for this should be dependent upon your fatigue factors and your strengths. However, what I will say is, I think that modified version of that hinge into the squat method is gonna be most effective for this workout, because you don't wanna have it all squatty and all focused on that eccentric loading of the quads and then bouncing back into that Burpee Box Serve. So you want to be able to pull some away in order to preserve energy without expending too much energy on one movement in order to have it for the next. Now the second movement is that Burpee Box Serve over. And we're going to talk about 3 approaches for this. We have the step in and the step down. Step in, step down on a pivot, and drop. Beautiful. That's one method. Okay. Another method that we have is the step in and jump. What that means is you're going to step in, jump, and then jump off the box and drop back down. And then that last method is going to be one that's going to be your fastest, which is to jump in and jump off with that quarter turn. So those are 3 methods that are really effective on the burpee box jump over. You notice on all ones, Emma stayed low on it, okay? She never stood up on the box, she stayed low to kind of keep pressure off her legs. Now, when you're going into that dumbbell power snatch or the burpee box jump over, I really want you to think about choosing the method or varying your methods based off your fatigue factors. Remember, fatigue is a perception, and in this workout, you're gonna experience that a lot more. Your body's gonna wanna tell you it's fatigued in an effort to preserve energy, not spend too much for quote unquote survival, okay? The name of the game for this workout is minimizing your energy expenditure around your strengths in order to operate at the highest output you can without falling off too much. So stay under control, keep your rhythm, stay upbeat throughout what you're doing, and have a good internal dialogue around your fatigue factors and how you can manipulate movement to keep working at a high and hard output. So, from Conquer Athlete for Virus, we hope this helps. We hope you guys rip into 21.2. And don't forget, if you guys sign up for any products at Conquer, use code word VIRUS to get a free week of our template programming or 10% off our individualized track.